Good morning. I must apologize. I actually forgot the camera here at the church last night, but I really didn't do that much. I did get that space cleaned out, but I've decided excuse me. I've decided that I need to build a rack. So I've ordered some rack rail in. That'll be here tomorrow, and I need to go and source the wood parts today, pretty much before I get going. So, but I wanted to show you the space. So this is the sanctuary. Sorry for the jiggly video. So this is the sanctuary, and those are their projection screens. They basically just framed the wall and painted with screen goo. The projectors are underpowered, but you know, they work for now. We'll address that later. So what they have currently, this is where that camera goes, and then they have some HDSDI. They've got an audio cable here that they run from the soundboard, and then they've got this extension cord for power. What we're going to be adding, in addition to this camera, which is manned, is we're going to wire mold out to about there. Depends on the length of wire mold I can get. One of the PTZs is going to go there, inverted. And then over on that face, at about the same height, will be the other camera, and that'll be on a shelf with a bracket like we did in Las Vegas. So let me show you their booth. So this is the lighting controller, and lighting is something that we have yet to address. I know it's something that they're interested in, but we are not there yet. So one of these two computers runs ProPresenter. I'm not sure which. I'm pretty sure it's this one, because it looks like this one is for the duplicator there. They do have a Kramer scaling switcher here that we're going to be pulling signal from and tapping into. So basically from there they use the VGA out, go into a splitter, which I don't know exactly where it is, and then it goes up to the two projectors. What I'm going to be doing is putting in a 1x3, retaining those VGA connectors, and then using the VGA balun to send the signal through there, up into the ceiling, back and over to the video booth. Additionally, we are going to be replacing this monster. It's actually not an Allen and Heath, it's a Mackie. So this 32 channel will get replaced with the brand new PreSonus Series 3 32 channel. So this is going to be a job because, you know, there's a lot of connections here, so I'm going to have to label all those accordingly. So this is where the switcher and the rack is going to go. So the advantage is I don't have to build a very deep rack, but I'm going to wait until I get the switcher out to determine what my depth needs to be. So essentially I have to wait for the pastor to get here. He's going to start pulling the other cables that he needs to pull, and then we'll talk that over. I have to go pick up a TV. I have to go pick up the rack materials, and I also need to get that shelf and bracket for the PTZ, so I'll be out for a couple hours. Alright, so let me show you what I got. So that is the rest of the fairing strip. So this is going, we got 4 of these. So these are going to be the shelf legs for the rack. And then I got a 48-inch that I got cut in half by 1-inch by, I think it's 12-inch stair tread. And it has this really nice rounded edge right there. So that'll be on the front. And this I'm going to actually cut down a little bit. And that's going to be the bracket, or the wall shelf with these brackets that the PTZ camera is going to stand on, or sit on. And then I got some wire mold here, and a wire mold box where the wires come out of the ceiling, and then these retention clips to hold it up on the ceiling, and that's going to be for the center PTZ camera. So what I have yet to get, I need to get some screws for the shelf brackets, and then we can get out of here, off to Walmart. Alright, so update. The closest Walmart did not have the TV, but I bought the mount. They have the TV on hold at another Walmart about 6 miles away. So I'm going to head there, then I'm going to grab some lunch, and then it's back to the church. I'm going to build the shelf and the rack, and then I've got some, I got the wire mold I got to put up, and I've got the PTZ camera shelf to put up as well. And then I believe the pastor brought in the PreSonus mixer, and we'll see what else he's got. If all else fails, I'll get the video switcher hooked up today to the TV. I will get, hopefully, the VGA line in from the scaler. And if I'm really lucky, I'll get the program out from the switcher going back to the scaler. So, a lot to do today, but hopefully we can get pretty far. So 6:30 is the ending time today. It is straight up noon, 6.5 hours. Let's see what we can do. Well, I got it. Where is it? It's right there. Got a little scared there because they didn't, first person I talked to didn't know anything about the TV being held, but we got it squared away. Now to get something to eat, back to the church. Alright, so this is where I'm at. I've got the box up, and I'm actually going to have to get another section of wire mold because I'm about a foot short. So let's see if I can find it. Right there. I need to go right there. So, foot, 18 inches, somewhere in there. The other thing is, this is not even. It's not straight. But it's on there now. So we'll just have to paint it and hope for the best. Here's our little camera. So I'm going to use these drywall anchors to secure it, and then because it is hanging inverted, I'm going to use they call it the drop prevention wire, which is on the bottom of the camera. So I'd show it to you, but I have to hold the camera. So this will mount upside down like this, and then there's slots on the bottom of the camera, so you go quarter turn off and then you lock it in. It's pretty cool. So that's where we're at. Alright, so we got one camera mounted right there. Having an issue getting that BNC connector onto the SDI output, so I'm going to go grab one that hasn't been terminated and see if that fits, because if it doesn't, then I got to take that off and basically go get different connectors and give that a try. Joys. So that's where I'm at right now. So I'm going to go do that, and once I figure that out, then I'll move over, put the shelf up for the other camera, and get that other camera mounted. And then I can start in the booth, or the video room. Video booth, I guess we'll call it. Yeah, that works. Cool. All right, so where am I at? I got that camera all connected. What had happened is the crimping, well, not the crimp, the compression tool that I'd used to put the connector on, I actually had it set a little too tight, and what happened is the inner ring of the BNC connector flared out, and so it wasn't grabbing. So I snipped it off, adjusted the tool, put a new connector on, and it snapped right on. So that's mounted, and I've gotten the other camera mounted as well. So let me just flip around and show you what that looks like. So it's right there on that little shelf bracket. So now I'm going to go connect up. Well, I'm going to unpack the switcher, and well, actually I got to figure out what I'm going to do, because I can't mount the 32-inch TV that I got because they want a 42-inch. So I got to go take that back, and I have to get a new mount as well. And I can't test the cameras until the Ethernet switch gets here, which may still yet happen today, but more likely tomorrow. So I might actually get started on the soundboard. Well, what I could do, actually, is I did get the 1x3 VGA distribution amp, so I may track down those cables and connect that, and then I can connect this end of the VGA distro, because they're currently running the two Cat 5 cables for that. So yeah, I think that'll work. I think I'll work on that, because much as I'd like to get into the video booth and start doing some work, I really can't until I get those rack rails and I get the Ethernet switch. So yeah, I think I'll work in the audio booth here. And the other thing I need to do is every cable, even though it is labeled, I need to put my own label on it so that I know where it goes, what it's for, and all that jazz. So that will likely take me the rest of the time. It occurred to me that it would be a good idea to just go channel by channel and write down what is plugged into it, because let me show you what I noticed. Even though these snake cables are labeled, you know, we're channel 4 on the board, but it's channel 17 and 29. So if I had just assumed that, you know, channel 1 on the snake was channel 1 on the board, that would have been bad. That would have really screwed me up. So the other thing is, I'm going to write down a list of, like I said, what's plugged into where, so that on my labeler I know what I'm labeling. So, you know, channel 13, I'll label CH period space 13, and that I will put on the actual. All right, so on the actual metal chassis of the connector is where I prefer to do my labeling. So this is going to take me a while. But once I actually start the labeling process, I'll go ahead and roll the camera, and we'll do a kind of a sped up sequence there for you. Just because it's kind of fun to watch. I enjoy watching it, at least. I don't really enjoy watching me just blab on and on and on like I'm doing now. So I'm going to cut to that sequence now. me show you some of the mess I'm having to deal with. And, you know, the spaghetti that I'm having to sort through in order to figure out what signals go where. So there's two computers, one here, one here. This is the main ProPresenter computer here. It has a DVI out and a VGA out. This monitor has both DVI and VGA cables running to it, although the VGA input indicates that there's no signal. So the DVI output here is the one that they're utilizing. So right here, this is their scaling switcher. And you'll forgive me, you can see that they have a DVI and a VGA. That VGA comes down and feeds into here. So what I have to do is I have to take these two cables which run to the projectors, and I have to feed them into the outputs, two of the outputs of this new guy. So we got one input there, two outputs there, and a third output right here. So that third output is, again, what I'm going to plug this balun into to run back to the video booth. So I'm going to mount that on the wall, probably about right here, and then all the cables are going to go into that. But there is also random audio cables and network cables and all that. On top of that, we have duct taped here an empty rack space, and then we've got an EQ here that is going to be obsolete. And then we also have EQs here that are going to be obsolete when we put in the new sound mixer, the audio mixer. So I love spaghetti messes. No, not really. So that's what I'm going to be working on for the rest of the time. I'm going to work on getting that hooked up, and then assuming that is successful, I'll see what else small and quick I might be able to do before I got to leave at 6:30. I got a problem. Their scaler only has one DVI input, and for some reason I thought it had two. So their DVI input is currently being utilized as a converter from what I'm assuming is DisplayPort, old school, full size. So, but they also have this HDMI to VGA with audio. So I need to ask them if they really need that DVI, because if they don't, then that's not a problem solved, good to go. If they do need it, then I'm going to have to figure out how to convert HDMI into component with audio breakout. Oh joys. Anyway, so I'm going to map out the system as best as I can figure it out, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so I have figured out that the VGA output from the ProPresenter computer is indeed going to the input 1 of the Kramer scaler. And I have also verified that this adapter goes into VGA 2. But as you might recall, there's a VGA coupler that goes into VGA input 1 on the scaler. I can't figure out where that second VGA cable is coming from. So I'm going to have to get some help. I'm going to have to get somebody else here that can help me trace that wire down through the hole. Because as you can see, this is a bit of a mess. and the cable is far enough back here that I have to lay down to pull on it, and I can't tell which cable is being pulled because my head has to be under there to grab the cable. So this is a dilemma. It's a challenge. One I'm a little scared about. So I'm taking a break from that right now. What I need to do, I've already run an audio cable that was up here, one of two that they ran, and that is what's going to run to the video from an aux send. So I have these Cat 5 cables, I believe, that I'm going to run, you know, up and along here, feed through, and come out back here. So I'm going to do that, and then I'll come back to this mysterious VGA cable situation. I just realized I never did my wrap up. I am so sorry. So I got both cameras mounted. The pastor got the 2 Cat 5 cables and the 2 audio cables run. I still haven't figured out that phantom VGA cable, so I'm gonna plan on doing that tomorrow. What else did I do? Oh, so I got some studio monitors or speakers for the video booth, or the video booth. I got them unpacked, and then I unpacked the PTZ controller as well. I did that off camera just because it's kind of boring and it's not really that interesting. So tomorrow we should be seeing the rack being built and the audio mixer being replaced, and hopefully we'll also see the first power up of the new cameras and the connection of the video switcher, all sorts of fun stuff. So I'm going to look forward to that. For now, I will catch you tomorrow. Thanks for watching.
They're recording audio.
No wiggle at all.
How much is this? $2,500?
Something like that.
There you go. I have my bazooka cannon.